Don't talk about that.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Think and Grow Rich Mindset Ministry Mastermind. I'm Amber Dubevic from Key West, and I am your Mindset Ministress. Thanks for joining us. We're here every weekend at 10:30 on Saturday mornings, and what you're watching really is a group of entrepreneurs that are practitioners of mindset. And on this hangout, we study Napoleon Hill. We have been studying the 17 principles of success. So, if you notice throughout Napoleon Hill's writings, from when he wrote Think and Grow Rich in 1912, he might have started off with 10 principles of success, and then as he went on to his next book, there was 15 principles of success, and then in, what are we reading? Law of Success, he gets up to like 16 principles. So, Your Right to Be Rich is what I have picked for us to study from, and that is his last book, his last compilation that he put together before he died. So this was like 1970. He did it with W. Clement Stone, who was his manager and the owner of Success magazine. And so by the time he died, there were 17 principles of success. So that's what we study here. We've been going down the list for weeks and weeks and months. And we are on controlled attention. Let me see, controlled attention, which I think is focus. I would know that, but I haven't been able to focus long enough on it to figure it out. So we're gonna figure it out together today. And we always have just an awesome panel of entrepreneurs on here with us. Everybody that you're going to see on here today is in some sort of marketing business. And they're very, very good at what they do. They're serious practitioners of mindset and great mentors. So you'll see everybody's name below their picture. And I encourage you to look them up on Facebook if you are looking for a mentor in anything in your life. I mean, we pretty much cover it all here. Success is business, but it's also, in your relationships, your life, your lifestyle, everything. So these are perfect mentors for everybody. See who you resonate with and hit them up on Facebook and just form a connection with them. The more people you meet and the more minds you get going, the more success that we can stimulate in our lives. So you're lucky that you're watching this, and we're grateful that you're here. This is our way of giving back. This is kind of a form of service for us. We just want to be able to help other people, and mindset is really where it starts. If you don't have the mindset, the rest of it doesn't really fall into place very well. So welcome, and we're glad you're here. And I'm just going to introduce our panel real quick before we get reading. And I'm going to go down my line. I don't know. I think it's reversed, but we'll see. Maybe I'll go backwards and see how that goes. So we have Zabelina Vargas.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zabelina Vargas, and I live in New Jersey. I am a mother of 3 and an entrepreneur. I'm very passionate as to what it is that I do. Forgive me if I'm stuttering. My coffee hasn't kicked in yet, but I'm here, and I'm here to serve you. So let's get this rolling.
Awesome. Thanks, Evelina. And then we have Markel Thompson.
Good morning, everybody. Same thing she said.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thanks, Markel.
That's your name, too?
And we have Alafir Smith.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I hope you're going to have a great experience here this morning. We all love to show and teach you what is possible when you focus on your mindset. That's what life is all about. So listen in, take notes, and enjoy this morning.
Awesome. Yeah, take notes for sure. Everybody get their notebooks, and your pencils, pens, whatever. Get ready, because we do a lot of note-taking here. Let's see, next we have Daniel McCall. Hey, Danny.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Dan McCall here, Deptford, New Jersey. I got my notepad ready. I'm here to be a student today myself. Let's do this.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. All right, and then finally we have Cindy Bloom. Is she? Are you there? Are you frozen up? There you go. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, Amber. I am, like she said, my name's Cindy Bloom. I'm in Chicago. Literally, wake up and hop on the hangout, guys. And I want to encourage you guys to do something like this, because some people would be like, I can't hop on a hangout. and just woke up. I got to do my face. You know what? I was like that too. So I always like to encourage people to do something to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's exactly why I'm here, to learn, to implement, and to, you know, give you guys some value. So glad you're here, and thanks for having me, Amber.
Thanks, Cindy. You know what? That is awesome. I'm so glad that you grabbed the opportunity. You didn't let fear or fear of criticism stand in your way of plowing through and going for it. I mean, this is how we get successful. Sometimes we do the things that we don't want to do. Sometimes our mind tells us, "Oh, don't do that. I don't want to do that." In fact, I was just talking about that last night in a mastermind, and we were talking about, it was about exercise and health for our bodies, and lots of times our mind says, "Oh God, I don't want to do that." Or I don't want to do the dishes, and the second we hear that, we have to make ourselves go do it, and that's perseverance too. That's another success principle by Napoleon Hill, perseverance too. So congratulations! I'm so psyched that you chose to come on here with us this morning.
Well,
So
thanks for
yeah, awesome. I'm gonna attempt to read. I always lose. Okay, I'm not gonna lose my voice today. Markel is usually a reader. But I will persevere and push on. So I'm going to go to screen share and see if you guys can see it. Markel, you were so good at making it bigger. How did you do that?
I just zoomed in a little bit. Do you see a zoom in option?
Oh, let's see.
Control plus. That's what it is, Amber. Control plus. Hold your control key down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. That good? Oh wait. when I make it bigger like this, it goes to 2 pages though. That's the only problem. Does that work? Can you guys see it?
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot better.
Okay, cool. Oops. Okay, so we're on controlled attention, which I think is principle number 11. So we're on 11 out of 17. And it usually takes us 3 weeks to go through one principle, average. So, okay, controlled attention. Concentration is the secret of strength in politics, in war, in trade, in short, in all management of human affairs. That's by Emerson. An average lifetime is too short to permit you to achieve success in any calling without concentrating your efforts behind a definite major purpose. History clearly reveals that successful people are those who have developed the ability to focus all of their efforts on the accomplishment of their goals. Perhaps the most important function of self-discipline, and by the way, the things that are in bold are our success principles. So, of self-discipline is to aid you in the development and maintenance of habits of thought that enable you to fix your attention upon any desired mission and hold it there until the mission is accomplished. You will reach the higher brackets of individual achievement by the application of thought power, properly organized, concentrated, and directed toward definite ends. Any power, mental or physical, is achieved by concentration of energy. The greatest form of thought power is developed by a mastermind alliance. Here, the power of many individual minds is blended into one and concentrated upon the attainment of a given objective. The scientist concentrates upon the search for hidden facts and secrets of nature. With what appears to be a definite purpose, the combined powers of the universe seem to conspire to reveal these secrets. Militarists concentrate upon organized warfare, and through their search for new and more effective weapons, uncover better means of production in industry and new formulas in chemistry, physics, and biology. Concentration of military power at a given point is the means by which victories are gained. Perhaps history would have been drastically different if for the past 100 years the nations of the world would have applied these 17 principles and spent as much on peace as war. Controlled attention is the ability to control your focus on a given problem until you have solved it. The space program of the United States focused on exploring outer space. The technology required to carry out this purpose has benefited every field of science from communications to medicine. The principle of controlled attention, or concentrated attention, is the key to success in business and industry. William Wrigley Jr. concentrated upon the manufacture. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger for everybody. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Okay. William Wrigley Jr. concentrated upon the manufacture of a package of chewing gum and lived to see an entire nation take up the habit of chewing gum. In the process, he accumulated a fortune through his efforts. F.W. Woolworth concentrated upon the operation of a 5 and 10 cent stores and accumulated a fortune from the sale of gadgets and trinkets in the low-price merchandise field. John D. Rockefeller concentrated upon refining and selling petroleum and made this occupation yield him a fortune sufficient for the needs of thousands of people. Henry Ford concentrated upon the manufacture and distribution of a low-priced automobile and became the directing head of one of America's greatest industrial empires. Edgar Bergen concentrated upon a block of wood called Charlie McCarthy and made it bring him fame and fortune far beyond his ordinary needs or anything he had ever known before. Marie Curie concentrated upon the discovery of radium and kept her mind focused on that one purpose until nature was forced to give her the secret of this mysterious element. The signers of the Declaration of Independence concentrated upon the desire for liberty and personal freedom for the people of the United States so effectively that liberty and freedom may someday become the common property of men throughout the world. Let's see here. Andrew Carnegie concentrated upon the manufacture and sale of steel. He remained so steadfast in his purpose that he is credited with bringing about the great steel age that was destined to raise the standards of living of the entire nation and the world. His efforts brought him more money than he could give away during his lifetime. Wilbur and Orville Wright concentrated upon the building of airplanes and lived to see the product of their minds become the master of the air. Though he was without formal education, Thomas Edison concentrated upon specific inventions and lived to see the products of his mind serve mankind in no less than 100 different ways. The world is indebted to him for the great electrical age that has lessened our manual labor and improved the American way of life. Control your mind and you will never be controlled by the minds of others. Martin Luther King Jr. Henry Kaiser concentrated upon building ships to fill the emergency needs of our country at war. Though he had never built ships before, he concentrated on his job so effectively that he amazed the entire shipbuilding industry by his speed and efficiency, excelling the efforts of men who had been engaged in shipbuilding all their lives. The whole American industry at the outset of World War II concentrated upon the production of war materials so effectively that our unprepared nation was spared defeat and the world was astounded by our efficiency. The Nazarene concentrated upon the task of teaching people how to live with one another in peace and harmony. Although his efforts have not yet reached their intended purpose, his teachings have become the greatest single influence for peace and good that this world has ever known. Ted Turner concentrated on building a worldwide news gathering organization. CNN, the cable news network, became an invaluable tool for informing people everywhere about what was happening around the globe. In instances like Desert Storm, the Chinese uprising in Tiananmen Square, and the fall of the Soviet Union, his organization let the whole world see, as never before, history being made. I'm just surprised Desert Storm is in there. All right, concentrating on living out your definite major purpose projects a clear concentration, here we go, on living out your definite major purpose projects a clear picture of that purpose upon your conscious mind and holds it there until it is taken over by the subconscious and acted upon. It's very important. This is called controlled attention. So it's basically projecting the picture, the image of our definite major purpose onto our subconscious mind. That is controlled attention. Okay. Let's see here. We'll read a little further. All right. Controlled attention is the act of coordinating all the faculties of your mind and directing their combined power to a given end. You can achieve it only by the strictest sort of self-discipline. Attention that is not controlled and directed may be nothing more than idle curiosity. The word controlled is the key to thought power. You may achieve controlled attention by adopting the 6 factors through the application of self-discipline. 1. Adopt a definite major purpose, the starting point of all achievement. 2. Cultivate your imagination through which the object of your goals is illuminated and mirrored in your mind so clearly that its nature cannot be mistaken. Number 3. Grow your desire until it becomes burning desire that will not be denied. 4. Demonstrate applied faith in the ultimate achievement of your goals and see yourself living out your definite major purpose. 5. Apply continuously all the willpower you can summon. And 6. Learn the art of using your subconscious mind. All right, we'll stop there for just this portion because that was some major good stuff. Okay.
All I can say is, wow, what a way to wake up.
Awesome, right?
Yeah. I mean, this really sets the tone for the day, guys. So if you guys are on this hangout, I mean, you're going to have a great day.
Right? So go for it, Cindy. Why don't you share with us what you got out of that?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? There's so many things that I got out of that. And really, it goes back to the whole point of really never giving up. You know, so many people give up, their dreams and things. And as you can see, the list of those people in there, they didn't give up their dreams. They were consistent. They stayed focused. And no matter what people may have been telling them and whispering into their ears, their focus was there. And that, to me, is one of the key things in being successful in business, is to stay focused, to stay on track, and don't really, go away from your goal and your dream. And that's exactly what, all those people that you were reading about, Wrigley and, Thomas Edison. I mean, all of these people, all of these famous people who went on to create legacies in business and companies, those are the people who didn't give up, who let their dreams, continue. And what I just want to say is, success leaves clues. And the clues in these books, if you pick up on them and you implement them and you really let them sink, it's amazing the power of what the mindset and your mindset can do in your business.
Yeah, thanks, Cindy. I know, that's so true. It's so funny because, he was reading all the examples of these just amazing people that had their definite major purpose, obviously, was so focused in. I mean, every single one of those examples, it was so focused on one thing, and they became immensely successful. And then with the 6 things, that we need to implement, it really just shows, I mean, it's all in the mind, and we have to have just such a clear vision of what it is we want out of life, what we want to become, what we want our life to be like, what our major purpose is going to be in life. And for me, that's always been the hardest part, is defining that and getting a clear vision of it, and thank God I'm doing this work like with you guys, because that's really helped me. It's starting to hone it in, it's almost like having everything out of focus, like real blurry and big, and then it starts to come in and come in and come in. But it's not until it gets like to right here, just laser focused in our mind, that we can actually, that it gets imprinted. That's where the controlled attention, I don't think, comes in until we get a laser focus, like a laser beam, like those little green lights they shine in the pilot's eyes, like it has to be that.
Or like those little laser things, those laser pointer guns,
Yeah, exactly.
The lights, when you're, laser focus on something on a board or something, that's kind of like what it is. Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. And I think when we have that, that's what takes the picture. It's almost like taking a picture, like when Zabelina had her camera out earlier. Once that laser dot is focused, the subconscious mind can snap the picture, and then it gets imprinted onto our subconscious mind, and that's how it manifests in our outside world. So that's how important getting that laser focus is. And that's the controlled attention. That's the principle that we're talking about right here. So, so let's move on. Zabelina.
I just wanted to, may I?
Yeah, it's your turn. Go for it, girl.
Thank you, thank you. You know, something that kind of stuck out to me was, wow, you know, we can totally have a controlled attention on either the negative or the positive, and the more controlled attention that you have on the negative, the more of that you actually draw to yourself. Some people don't know how to control their attention on or just focus on something that it is that they really want, you know. There's two types of faith and of prayer. There's the prayer of worry, and then there's the prayer of hope and knowing that it's just going to happen. I like to read out of this book, right? It's really old, thousands of years old, right? And some people call it the Bible, the Bible. Some people call it the Holy Book, whatever it is. But there's a scripture in there, and it's in Hebrews 11:1, and it says, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." So that's controlled attention. When you have that faith, and you know you can't see it, but you know that it's just going to happen. That's faith, and it comes into fruition. You know, you can have faith in something positive, or you can have faith in something negative. You can constantly be worried and controlling and having your attention on the bad or on the good. It's a choice. Now, how do you focus on the good? You surround yourself with people like us. Get yourself on these types of hangouts. Connect. Get yourself on a Facebook page or a Facebook group that they're constantly always talking positive things. Though that's stuff that's going to go ahead and plant seeds into your mind to help you to focus on whatever it is that you were created to do in this world. You have a huge purpose, and I give you kudos for being here this morning. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
Thank you. Thanks, Lena. So yeah, applied faith is number 3 out of our success principles. Faith is huge. In fact, without faith, none of the other principles work. So, and we'll get back to that one too, but they all go together for sure, definitely. And I love what you said about, it's so true about either focusing on the positive or the negative. And before, I don't know about you guys, but before I joined like the marketing, this marketing entrepreneur world, I really thought it was just about money, and I never realized that this is where the mindset people are. Like these are my peeps. And when I found you guys, I was like, oh my God, I'm so home. I mean, this is so great. And these are like the masters of mind for sure. But before we get here, lots of times we are stuck focusing on the negative, just because I think that's almost the default mechanism for human beings, is to be in the mind somehow defaults to the negative. And that's why practicing these principles help us to reset our mind into the positive. And matter of fact, the whole entire course, the Napoleon Hill training course that I have here that we're working out of, is to develop a positive mental attitude. They call it PMA, and it goes behind, the initials PMA go behind every single thing and everything that we're studying here. So it's basically making a conscious effort to shift our minds from negative to positive, and this is how we're doing it. And this is why it's so great that whoever, if you're lucky enough, I don't want to say luck, if you're blessed enough to have gotten your hands on this video, it could be life-changing for you, because it's life-changing for us in here that are even, working on it every week. So let's see, who else is ready? Markel, are you ready?
Yes, I'm always ready. I try to be, well, don't try to be, I'm ready most of the time, but yeah, I agree with you about negative thinking being like the default thing. I believe that's so because it's so much easier to think negative than it is to think positive for some reason, for some people. So what I wrote down was concentration on living out your definite major purpose projects a clear picture of that purpose upon your conscious mind and holds it there until it is taken over by the subconscious mind and acted upon. And this is called controlled attention. But how many people have a major definite purpose? That's what it starts with. And if you don't have something to control your attention to, then what are you doing? It's like you're just creating reality by default. and that's all of the things that's going on around you, what other people saying what's possible for you, what other people think they can and can't do. You probably adopting that yourself, and those 6 steps that you just read, it's like those little simple things that add up to the big things, like controlling your thoughts and controlling what you want out of life. And where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you, like Exabelina was saying, you know, if you focusing on negative, that's all you're getting is negative. But if you focusing on positive, that's what you're getting, you know. So once you get that major definite purpose, right, and you reading it every day and you putting it into action every day, it absorbs in you. You know, it's like something happens to you when you read it out loud with that faith and that expectation as like it's going to come. Because if you believe it enough and you taking enough action, it's going to happen. So, you know, a lot of people they won't act out on their goals because of what other people say or how crazy other people think they is or how much time they think it's going to take, but the time going to pass anyway, so you might as well just take that first step and get it into action. So that's what I got so far.
Thanks, Markel. Awesome. Yeah, you know, that's one of the 10 basic fears is fear of criticism, and that's such a big one. You know, it holds so many people back from being able to attain their dreams. And I'm glad you mentioned that one. So I just want everybody to just have the awareness of that one. You know, saying yes to a hangout at the last minute is just an awesome thing. Like, I'm so proud. And of course, Cindy, I knew she would. That's why I sent her the link, because she's an awesome woman. That's why, you know, she's just a go-getter. So I'm glad she's here with us today. So, all right, Daniel.
Hey, what's up? I just got back on here. I had to hop off and we have some company over here actually this weekend from Philly, and we're going to a wedding today. So I got a nice big house full. I'm trying to keep my attention controlled right now so I can be on this hangout without the distractions. So I told him, I said, make sure you guys keep it PG-13 up there while I'm on the hangout. You know what I mean? Got a nice house full. So, but yeah, I missed some of the stuff you guys said here. Hey, I got an echo. Do one of you guys not muted or something? Or
no, I think it's on yours. It must be on yours. Maybe you have do you have the 22 social page open?
Okay, it looks like it went on. All right, cool. I knocked that off. All right, cool. Let me get my attention controlled again. Want
me to go to Elvira and come back to you?
No, I'm just messing around.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. So anyway, that's my experience today so far. It's good to hear about. It's good. I just caught you, Cindy, at the end there. It's cool how you just jumped on and took action. You know, because that's what it takes to you know, to have success, right? And we get paid for our responsibilities. You know, when we take responsibility for our lives, and we take on more responsibility so that we can bring more value, you know, to our audience, you know, through things like these hangouts and things like that. I'm always one of the first people to hop on take on an additional responsibility. I mean, we get paid for taking on responsibilities. So it's important to take action, you know, and to lead by example, and to do what we got to do, to lead our team, to lead our people, and to ultimately take care of our families, right? So I'll just close it out there. I'll probably have a lot more to share after the next one. I was really distracted during that first half. So thanks, girls and guys and girls.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. All right, Elvira, Mrs. Wordsmith.
All right. Well, yeah, I've been taking copious notes, you know, because every time I'm on this fabulous hangout with all of the fabulous people, I just get these things. You know, concentration, focus. You know, we've done it, we've heard it before. If you just laser focus, you also get the thing done faster. You know, it's like, we know what laser is. You know, remember the sunlight? The sun is beautiful, it's nice and warm. But when you take one of those magnifying glasses, you just laser focus it. You harness the power of the sun into one tiny little beam, you know, and that just literally, you've done it as a child. You just burn your hand, or you burn the leaves. If you're living in an area where you have those dry autumn leaves, you can burn them. You can literally burn it. So this is the same. And what popped for me was that, you know, the focus, the laser, that's where Napoleon Hill talks about the burning desire. You know, how much do you focus on that, what it is that you've chosen, that you're going to be expressing in this lifetime. I'm reading some couple of things like The Slight Edge, and I'm reading the Happiness Advantage, and I get little pieces here and there, and I'm sort of connecting the dots, you know. It's just like, it is so powerful. But here is one thing that I wrote down also. When you control your mind, as you said, Amber, when you create that positive mental attitude, when you control your mind, I mean, you're in control of your mind. So for Pete's sakes, you know, it's like, it's yours. Use it. If you don't, what happens? Really, no. What? If you don't use it, what you create for yourself is that you allow the law of gravity to take over. And what's the law of gravity? So it drags you into the negative. That's what it is. So keep your mind on the forefront. It sounds funny. I don't know really how to describe it. Here we go again with the words. We're so primitive with our words. But you're in control of your mind. And the ego is wonderful. Don't ever curse your ego, because the ego controls certain things in your body that you don't have the time in the day to really think about, you know, like breathing and your heartbeat and all the stuff. That all goes through the ego. So love it, bless it, but make sure that the ego knows where it's supposed to be staying. So you just control your mind, focus on what it is you choose to express. That is your controlled attention. Just stay with it in such a way that it totally saturates your being. It's burning in every cell of your body. You can't help but feeling it in whatever. It's like putting on these glasses. And one of the things that I've connected the dots with, and I will somehow get that onto whatever, my blog or whatever, is the Tetris effect. And those of us who are younger than me, who have been playing the game, and I'm sure that Dan has played the game, the Tetris effect, where you have blocks that fall into place. It's been proven now scientifically that people who have played the Tetris game for a number of hours, when they step away and go outside, they still look at objects as how to turn around this building so it fits in there, and how to take the cereal boxes in the supermarket and turn them on their side. That means that when you have concentrated for quite some time, and some people play the Tetris game for 5, 6, 7 hours in a row, that your mind is saturated with that picture of how to do that. Well, how about if you just concentrate on your burning desire or your major definite goal in life? That's the concentration of it. It's just like, okay, I can rant on forever and ever. This is the dots that I'm connecting now. I go like, so exciting. Back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Elvira. Oh my God, it is exciting, isn't it? It's just just amazing. Like, I was just, when you were talking, I was thinking, like, how many minds do we really have in there? You know, there's the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the ego, infinite intelligence coming in. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other voices in there, you know, and it's just amazing, because just the way that, well, I know I used to, and I'm so grateful that I'm not like that anymore, but like just drifting through life at the mercy of your conscious mind, thinking that that is us, thinking that's you, you know. We have to, and the conscious mind has all kinds of crazy thoughts, you know. I mean, they come in, and then what happens is, like, we identify our being with that mind. We don't realize that we can create a separation between that mind, create some space, and then our subconscious mind, and then we don't realize just the power that we have to control that conscious mind through our subconscious mind, and then with, you know, infinite intelligence, God, whatever you want to call the universe, also bringing that power in, you know, and taking possession of our minds. That's the whole point of all of these principles, you know, not to be a victim or a slave to our minds. And most people, and I was always like that too, I didn't know that there was another way, you know, and thank God about 11 years ago, I figured it out, and it's been a path, until right now. And this is so great. I just love this stuff. So I hope you guys are loving it too. Yeah.
Amber, can I chip in another thing? What I have learned, everything is energy. Our thoughts are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and space. It's been proven by NASA with tests and with the astronauts, etc. Where we're sitting, all of us right now, what is going through our room, going through us literally, are not only thoughts, but are just energy waves. I mean, you have no idea how many streams of transfer of money from banks to institutions are going through my room, and for all of you as well. If you do not understand that you have control of your mind, you open up the door to all of those thoughts. Now, I'm just talking about those thoughts, but wherever you are, the thoughts of other people, negative. Most people, unfortunately, we know, would think negative, have negative stuff going on all the time. Those thoughts are constantly sent out. So they come your way as well. If you do not understand that you can close the doors, put the blinders on, and keep those thoughts bouncing off like water off a duck's back, you allow them in. And if there is many of them coming from that same negativity, you just go like, okay, and you do not understand why all of a sudden you feel like you're dragging down. Have you ever come into a room, or maybe you're even with your parents, you come into a room, you can almost smell the anger that is hanging there. As a child, you didn't understand it. They may have just had a fight, or you go into a room, in a boardroom, in an office, and there is this negativity hanging. You could almost go like, what just happened here? What took place? And that's the negative energy that's hanging there. Your thoughts never, ever leave. They're always here. It's the negative, it's the collective negative energy that is so much bigger than the collective positive energy. It's always there, and it's stored in the Akashic records. Okay, I can talk forever, but I just wanted to give, if you do not control, if you don't close the door, you're opening the door to outside influences which are detrimental to your life.
Yes, yes. Thanks, Elvira. There's also, Napoleon Hill talks about the walls, the three walls to build around our mind. We had discussed that in one of the earlier principles. And then the other thing is, when I get a mental negative image, or see something negative, or a negative thought, like a fear-based thought comes into my mind, especially if they're kind of strong, I don't want to say bad ones, but ones that would be classified as bad. I imagine a giant steel door that makes that real loud, echoey steel sound when you close it. And I say, slam the door on it in my mind, and I slam that big steel door on that thought. And it usually takes care of it. It doesn't sit there and replay over and over and over and over. It's gone. So that's an exercise that I suggest when anybody experiences a negative thought like that. So, all right, great stuff. So let's move on.
Amber, can I just add one little thing to that?
Sure.
It's a powerful exercise, and I've learned this from some of my mentors. Layla Black was one of them, Lawrence, and what they have done, and they've told me, is when those like negative thoughts come in and they start invading you, if you have a rubber band, honestly, you put a rubber band on your wrist, and you take the rubber band. I know it sounds crazy, but you pull it really hard, and you snap it. It hurts, okay? It hurts, but that snap right there can snap you out of that hole of negativity that it's sucking you in. So you snap the rubber band, and you refocus, and you get where you need to be. And guys, don't be afraid. I had this on my post. Don't be afraid to unfriend those people who are constantly bringing negative energy into your world. Okay? Surround yourself with those people who are going to be positive. And remember, snap it. Snap it whenever I do it. I actually have a rubber band, and I did this exercise, and they made us snap about 100 times. It hurt, but it's a very powerful exercise just to have that rubber band and snap. Just snap out of it and get back into your flow.
Yeah, that's what the dog whisperer does. Has anybody ever seen Caesar Milan with the dog whisperer? He just gently kicks the dog. When the dog gets ready to bark at the neighbor's dog, he just gently kicks it, because what you do, it's the same as you said, Cindy, you interrupt the thought pattern. You break the pattern, and that's what it takes. Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. I hope the people watching make a note of that, the rubber band. That's really good. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Alvier. All right, we're going to move on. Just a little more golden nuggets of wisdom from Napoleon Hill. Let's see here. Tell me when you can see it. Can you guys see it?
You're good.
Okay, cool. Make it bigger. Oh, woohoo! Okay. So to focus requires that your attention be fully controlled and directed towards a specific end. Okay, to focus requires that your attention be fully controlled and directed towards a specific end. Okay, the laser focus, that's what that is. Controlled attention is the highest form of self-discipline. Therefore, it should be obvious that all the previously mentioned principles of this philosophy blend with and become a part of the principle of controlled attention. If you have mastered the previous principles and have followed the instructions given, you are now ready to take complete charge of your mind power and direct it to whatever ends you desire, with reasonable assurance that you will succeed. Controlled attention is the act of coordinating all the faculties of your mind to fulfill your goals. It is organized mind power that allows you to focus all your efforts behind your definite major purpose. It is not the intent of this system of self-management to suggest to you the nature of your definite major purpose. The Creator has provided each of us with the privilege of directing our thoughts and desires to ends of our own choice. Therefore, reason and common sense impel us to follow that example. Controlled attention is organized mind power. You may draw upon the forces of infinite intelligence with the aid of the 6 factors listed above. Add to this a mastermind alliance, and your mind power will be multiplied for the attainment of a given purpose. Properly applied, the mastermind principle provides every individual in the alliance with mind power equivalent to the total of that of the group. The individuals in a mastermind alliance may be likened to separate electric batteries, each containing a definite amount of energy. The alliance, in a spirit of harmony for the attainment of a purpose, provides energy that is the equivalent of all the individual batteries connected, so that their combined power is available through one source. The connection between the individual minds is achieved through the principle of controlled attention, the form of concentrated effort wherein each subordinates his or her personal desires for the benefit of the group. This is the way the mastermind principle works. It is the secret of all great achievements, whether they are achievements of industry, religion, education, statesmanship, warfare, or otherwise. We repeat this truth for the sake of emphasis, for it is the key to this entire philosophy. Controlled attention leads to mastery in any type of endeavor because it enables you to focus the powers of your mind upon the attainment of your goals and to keep it fixed at will. Controlled attention is self-mastery of the highest order, for if you can control your own mind, you can control most of the obstacles that prevent lesser people from living out their definite major purpose and fulfilling their goals. It was this sort of control which Harriet Beecher Stowe had in mind when she said, when you get into a tight place and everything goes against you, till it seems as though you could not hold on a minute longer, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Oops, hold on. Okay. In your favor, if you are determined to see that it does. Your state of mind has everything to do with turning the tide. Plato expressed this thought in his statement, the first and best victory is to conquer self. To be conquered by self is, of all things, the most shameful and vile. Washington Irving expressed his respect for the power of the mind in these words, great minds have purposes, others have wishes. Little minds are tamed and subdued by misfortune, but great minds rise above them. The potentials of the power of controlled attention through concentration are many, but none of them is greater nor more important than that of concentration upon a definite major purpose. Hidden in these two words, controlled attention, is a strange power that will enable you to remove all self-imposed limitations which most people accept or set up in their own minds, and by which some are bound throughout their lives. It has been demonstrated that wherever two or more minds are allied and act in harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose through the mastermind principle, the alliance provides each of the minds with astounding power. Andrew Carnegie readily acknowledged that his huge fortune was accumulated through the controlled attention of a combination of minds concentrated upon the achievement of his definite major purpose. These minds consisted of the more than 20 people who constituted his mastermind alliance. He acquired the technique necessary to induce these men to work with him in a spirit of harmony. He knew that the creative vision, imagination, personal initiative, and enthusiasm engendered with his mastermind alliance produced great power, but he made no attempt to explain the source of that power. Since Mr. Carnegie first called attention to the power of a mastermind, intense research into the cause of this power has been carried on. The minds of thousands of people have been systematically explored. The reactions to thought stimuli have been examined, and conclusions have been reached of utmost importance to these and future generations. All right, we'll stop there. Wow, that's good stuff, huh? Okay, so.
Amazing. Amazing.
I know, right? Amazing.
You know, the quote about the tide, about turning the tide, I remember when I first started to embark in my journey of personal development and really getting my thoughts controlled. I had absolutely no idea what that meant. I had read before that, you know, it's all about a renewal of the mind, and my thing was, well, what does that look like, and how do I do it? Well, I was actually very close to these types of books, personal development books and stuff like that. My mind was so closed. It was so closed. Let me tell you, I would not receive anything that had to do with personal development. But finally, I started to just kind of, your mind has to be open. It has to be like a parachute in order for you to, you know, to jump off that cliff and glide. It's not going to be smooth. However, you're going to get to your destination. But I can liken the turning of the tide to almost like when you're in a pool and you begin to turn around really quickly, right? At first, it's a little difficult, right? And you're creating this current. And the stronger that current gets, the faster that you're able to turn around. Well, it's the same thing with personal development. However, with personal development or even just renewing your mind and allowing these changes to occur, it's as if your whole life you've been creating this current, and this current is actually really strong, and now all of a sudden you stop dead in the middle of this track and you decide that you want to go the opposite way. Well, what happens? You get friction, you get resistance, right? So, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to turn around for you. You know, I can resonate with the turning of the tide, what she was saying. So to me, that's exactly what happened to me. At first, it was very hard to start to create that new lifestyle. It was very difficult for me to get rid of the negative relationships and to kind of close the doors on the negative things that were occurring in my life. It was very hard. I grieved. It hurt me. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people who I thought that I really needed in my life, and were actually really not doing anything but just really kind of, you know, sowing seeds of toxic stuff in my brain and in my life, and creating negativity. So now my current is actually going with the flow, and the energy and the flow that's coming in, it's just abundance and increase and joy. And I'm standing in the way, like Elvira was saying, Elvira, that you've got energy just kind of flowing all around you and you don't even realize it. Well, there is an energy force where you stand in the way of it if you're willing, and you're just going to get nothing but positive. especially when you surround yourself with people like-minded people. So at first it's very difficult, but eventually it starts to kind of flow, and it's just amazing the stuff that comes out of it.
Thanks, Evelina. Yeah, definitely. All right, who's next? Markel?
Yes, I am. And, I can agree with you because I lost a lot of friends that I thought was friends, but they weren't really friends because a true friend, they'll support you with anything that you're doing, you know. So when I had first got involved with this myself, I was like controlling my thoughts. I'm not always doing that, but no, that wasn't the case. It was the external things that I was allowing myself to be influenced by without not even really being conscious of it. I was being brainwashed by negativity and toxic things from the people that was in my environment and the things that I allowed myself to be surrounded by. And like you said, exactly, like when you first start doing this, it's a little difficult, but everything is hard before it becomes easy. We always have to learn something. Like, for example, you go to school to learn how to read and write and do math, so there's no difference with this. And what I got out of that when you had read that the Creator has provided each of us with the privilege to think what we want. And it's like, if that's the choice, like what do people think about, on a daily basis? Like you can tell how a person thinks by the way that they carry themselves, the conversations that you have with them. Like it's really amazing to me now that I got to this point. I'm very grateful that I got to this point because like when I converse with somebody, I can literally tell what type of thoughts they have, the type of things that they watch and be influenced by, so that's kind of cool. But it says also, if you can control your mind, you can control the obstacles that make people give up. We all go through obstacles. I still go through obstacles to this day, but I believe those obstacles is only a test to make sure that you really want what you're asking for, because it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worthwhile if it's really that important to you. That's where that controlled attention comes in because you have to forget about what's going on right in front of you and what's going on around you and know that the objective is where you want to go and where you want to end up. So you start from the ending and then that's where you eventually land up. Start from the end, like start from where you want to be and then you go there. Don't start from where you at because where you at is definitely not where you want to be if you're trying to get to somewhere new. So control your attention on exactly where you want to be. Thank you.
Thanks, Markel. Yeah, start with the end in mind. That's what I just saw somebody talk about that last night. That's funny. Start with the end in mind. And the other thing, I just want to read this one sentence real quick because it says, the potentials of the power of controlled attention through concentration are many, but none of them is greater nor more important than that of concentration upon a definite major purpose. So that just means that's, I think where all of the power lies is when we can focus on our definite major purpose. It's like that summons all the powers of the universe, and shoots it out, manifest it. So, all right, so Daniel, let's go to you.
All right, girl, cool, awesome. Yeah, I love everything you guys all had to say too, by the way. This controlled attention subject reminds me of a video that I did earlier this week about believing in yourself. And I'm talking in this video, and I'm talking about the things that I do that make me believe in myself, the things that I do to keep my attention controlled. Because you can't believe in yourself if you're not controlling you're not controlling your attention, and the best way to control your attention too is to know where you're going, right? You know what I mean? If you don't know where you're going, you're already there. Your major definite purpose has to be in mind. The end has to be in mind. That's the major definite purpose, right? And we can keep on changing, where the end is, but this so reminds me of the video that I did earlier this week, and some things that I do in my own personal life with family members and friends and people that are a little bit toxic. I really don't spend too much time too much time around people, you know, that don't have the same like that don't have the same like purpose as me. Like, you know, they don't, their dreams aren't similar to mine, so I don't spend too much time around them. And what I suggest, you know, when it comes to family members and friends and people that you really love, you know, is that it's okay to love them from a distance. I'm not saying to, you know, to take them out of your life. It's okay to love them from a distance and hang with them during you know, Christmas, birthdays, and maybe once a week get together or something like that. But you want to be around the people. You want to be around the type of people that want the same thing in life as you do, as much as possible, Monday through Friday, if you can. I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, work still and they're stuck being around other people, and that's why that's why personal development and being around the right people is so important. Because what happens when you're around the right people, and you're taking in the right kind of information, is it becomes like body armor. You know, like you're walking around with this body armor, and you're able to take the impact, you know, from the negativity and the bad things that are going on around you. If you don't got your body armor on, you're more vulnerable, right? So it's a lot easier, you know, to do that. And if your body armor is weak, you know, go get it repaired, right? So come to the Saturday hangout with us here, you know what I mean, and study the principles of Think and Grow Rich, you know, and make sure that you're in a good state. I actually made a video too one time about I called it your healthy mind, your healthy mind meter or something like that. And basically had to do with your mental health. And I said, you know, if your mental health is at a 10 and you get knocked down to like a 6 or a 7 or something like that, it's a lot easier to get back up. But if you're walking around with less armor on, right, your mental state isn't as good. If you're walking around and you're at like a 5 and you get knocked down, now you're down to like a 2 or like a 1. Maybe you might not even feel like you want to live, you know, if you're that low. You know what I mean? So, you know, make sure you're putting the right stuff in your mind. You're around the right people, and it's a lot easier to have controlled attention. And when you have good controlled attention and you have a major definite purpose in the end in mind, it's a lot easier to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to have success. So controlled attention, having a major definite purpose, making sure your body armor is thick, you know, will cause you to believe in yourself and manifest your dreams, right? So just, man, this stuff just brings so many thoughts. I love how Elvira was talking about energy flowing in and out of you and stuff like that, and I could feel it. I'm a super spiritual person. You know, got the hands going like this and the screen like that. So I got notes from all of you guys here today. Here I hear Amber saying, "Don't be a slave to your mind," and, you know, energy. Elvira's talking about how her energy is always flowing, and really love the rubber band snap thing there too, Cindy. You know, she said snap yourself out of it. So I'll probably be putting like all these things on Facebook and stuff like that. I like how Markel said the time is going to pass anyway. You might as well be doing something good with it. That's what I got from what he said there. So I love all your input too, Zablina, too, with your story and everything. So all right, guys, that's it for right now. I think that's it. All right, thanks. Cool.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, it's funny. All of us use our hands. I'm always using my hands. So, and like all the thumbnails for these videos on YouTube, whether it's any one of us, we always have our hands up. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Cindy, you want to go?
No, I was just going to say we can make hand signals.
Yeah.
I kind of missed a little bit of what you were talking about because I needed to get a refill on my coffee. And then I walked downstairs and my kids were up and, you know, how life, whatever. But I did catch on a lot of whatever. What'd you say?
Said snap that rubber band, girl.
You know what? I'm refocused. I'm back here. I snapped it, came back on, and I'm focused into this. But I did miss out on a lot of what you guys were saying. So I'm definitely going to watch the replay of this because the information that I have heard and gotten from all of you, like Daniel said, I mean, there were, really important nuggets from each one of the people who came here, and love that energy. I love that. And, one of the biggest things that I'll say, and I'm not quite sure if this was said, if you surround yourself with people like who are on this panel, who are aligned with your mind, who, you know, who believe in dreaming again, and who believe that things happen for a reason and that you have control over your thought process and your conscious and subconscious mind, that's where the magic happens. That's where your breakthroughs come through. So that's what I'm going to have to say. Stay focused, guys. This was a powerful, you know, powerful hangout with a lot of golden nuggets. And if you apply these golden nuggets to your business, you will see results. You know, a lot of people will take the nuggets and just do away with them. But that's why everybody here has a pen in hand, because we're action takers, and we actually write down these things so that we can implement them into our business. And so that's what I encourage all of you guys to do.
Thanks, Cindy. Am I muted? Okay. I got a message on Facebook. Thank you so much, Cindy. I'm so glad you're here. We do this every weekend, so we're up thinking like this every Saturday morning, if you can imagine it. It's pretty crazy, but we love it. You know, it's, they say a good teacher is also a good student, so that's what we're doing here. We're teaching and learning at the same time, and I think that's perfect balance, like in the universe for us. And before we go to Elvire, you know, we might have to hit this part next week, but he did mention Mastermind Alliance a lot in what we just read. And I want to discuss that later because it is really important. And, well, I guess we'll do that next week unless Elvire hits on it. But go ahead, Elvire. What do you have for us to wrap it up for the day?
Well, more notes, just like Dan, just more notes. I'm a heavy note taker always. You know, what Cindy referred to is something, you know, that Jim Rohn said, work more on yourself than you work on your business. I mean, apply what you're hearing here, what you're learning, to yourself. Use it, because you are your business. Nobody else is your business. You are your business. And one of the things that I have learned is money, because we all start out with the money. This is how we're programmed when we're just, you know, mid-high school. Money. It's not about the money. First of all, money is a byproduct of services rendered. So work on yourself. The better you become, the better service you provide, the more money you will receive, if that's what it's about, you know. But just leave the money there for what it is. Work on yourself more. The control of thought, that takes, you know, that means also taking responsibility. You take responsibility for who you are, and that means you can no longer play the victim. Now, that is something very hard for people to give up, because when you play the victim, you always get the attention, right? The drama queen stuff. When you notice yourself stepping into the drama queen role, and I have it on the wall, NDQ, it's on a couple of places, because I still sometimes have that habit of doing that. I mean, for Pete's sakes, what was it? Tony Robbins said that, you know, you had 7,300 breakfasts, most likely with the wrong people. Love your parents, however. So don't beat yourself up. Just start to change your mind now. Work on your mind. So when you are having a drama queen moment, just notice it. What Cindy said with the wristband, just notice it, but ask yourself, what's the payoff? What is on the other side? Why am I doing this? Why am I creating this stupid atmosphere for myself? That is most important, to figure that out, because once you know that, you can change that and concentrate again your controlled attention of where you know is your fortune. And I mean fortune in the biggest, in the broadest sense of saying it. It's like your better relationships, your connection to God, your better health. That's what I mean about that. So don't beat yourself up. Be very careful. It takes time. It took me a lot of time. It took me, and I'm still nowhere near where I choose to be. So that is basically it. It's Teflon coat your mind, as Dan so beautifully said. You know, put your armor on. Put your armor on. It's very important. That is about it. Just ask yourself, why am I creating this situation? Because I'm sometimes labeled Mrs. Wordsmith, and I still am tweaking myself on a daily basis. But I love you all very much, but I just heard the word happen too many times. Nothing happens. You create it consciously or subconsciously, or really deep subconsciously, to have the experience. So nothing happens. You create everything, no matter how big the misery is, no matter how big the car crash is, no matter what you get in your life, you create it. So I can talk for hours. I love this. I love this. I love this. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Elvira. That's right. We are not victims.
That's got to be Dan.
I think that's
Would I
Cindy.
do something wrong?
That's Cindy.
I'm so excited. I'm getting ready to crawl right through your computer screen.
That's right. You know, yeah, we definitely make a focused effort to not use the word happen, but it's such a default word for most of us, you know. But at least here, when we say happen, we are starting to learn and to know that we really mean allow, create. You know, we take responsibility for what we're creating in our lives. You know, and when we don't do that, that's when stuff happens, and it's usually the other stuff. The four-letter word stuff. So let's see, I just want to leave you guys with this. You know, we just want to tell everybody to keep your mind on the things that you do want and off of the things that you don't want. You know, that's part of controlled attention. So I hope you're going to join us next week. Now, we're here every Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We got a little bit of a late start today, but we run about an hour. And we do invite other people on this hangout if you can resonate with what we're saying and have something that you can contribute. If you're not really at the contribution point yet, then we suggest that you just keep watching until you get to the point where you feel like you can be on the panel and contribute. But it is open. We're generic here. It's not just one company. Everybody here represents all kinds of different companies and businesses. Great mentors. Everybody has their name on there. I encourage you to find us on Facebook, you know, start a conversation. And just get connected, and you know, remember to take possession of your own mind. It's so important. So I hope you join us next week. Next week's July 5th. I will be on vacation, but I plan on bringing my laptop and being here. So I hope everybody can make it. And until then, think and grow rich. Bye for now.
Peace.